What is up, fitness family? Welcome to another episode of the True Fitness Podcast. I'm your host and your coach, Adrian Conway. Look, today I am going to go over how you can lose body fat, the easy way. That's right, the easy way. A lot of you watching this or listening to this probably don't realize that there is an absolute easy way to lose body fat. And I'm going to give you the primary reason why you're not. Wait for it. Wait another moment. Drum roll or whatever you got if you want it. It's because you're not willing to give up who you are for who you want to be. Now, I'm not going to make this a this ain't going to be based on theory, is where I'm going to go with this. This whole presentation of 5 key ways for you to lose body fat and continue to lose body fat, if that so is your desire, is so applicable that you won't do it. And this is why I'm sharing it. And this is why it becomes a sticking point for me as a coach to show grace continually to those that want to build this huge obstacle as to why they can't be who they want to be. Again, the baseline reason is because you do not want to give up who you currently are. Often, when people want to change something, now listen, I am a Christian. Um, I thank God have Him on my side and the Bible to lead me through my daily life choices. But I have a firm understanding that you can no longer you can't change your life spiritually and continue to do the same things that you once did. Right? Like you just can't. It actually doesn't literally align with the Bible and its teachings. We're to repent and turn away from the way that we once lived to then follow Jesus. Now, a lot of you aren't listening to this that are not Christians. That's okay. I love you nonetheless. And I hope that the lessons that I offer to you are still very valuable. But what an opportunity for me to share that about my own faith. But the point of this is that this same repentance that has to happen spiritually has to happen in your life. That you can't just fill your life with all of this new stuff and expect it to be okay while you live the old way. You have to literally take this forward facing action, about face, and move completely away. What that might look like is that you might need to select new friends. You might need to have new lifestyle habits that you really don't know how to accept or create early. That's why I got this podcast. Don't worry, I'm going to be walking you through it as we go. You might need to change the way you have your nighttime routine, change the way you wake up in the morning, change the way that you pack your lunch or don't pack your lunch, change the way that you spend money and save money. But if you want to be a different version of yourself, if you want to be healthier, if you want to lose body fat, gain muscle, if you want to do this in perpetuity for the rest of the time that we have here, this short time that we have here on this earth, to optimize your physicality, to optimize the way you make choices, to optimize the way that you are present with your spouse or your children, to optimize the way that you function at work and build a career for yourself and the hopefully the long-term outcome of this career that you are facing, or maybe you're towards the latter part of your career. I don't know. But if you don't want to go to the doctor continually and hear that you need to lower your cholesterol, that you need to look into further blood work because you got this going on or that going on, or you really need to get on this medication, right? Then you will stop what you're doing, literally stop the way you're living, and that you will turn from it. Unfortunately, team, I am almost 40 years old this year. Unfortunately, it takes people to get devastating bad news for them to want to repent of the way that they were living. And I'm not talking about spiritually. I'm talking about nutritionally. I'm talking about being lazy and just sitting around when you're not at work. I'm talking about not looking at your life and setting up systems to allow you to succeed. Not thinking about a workout as simply going to a gym and having a formal 60 minutes and having a personal trainer and doing all these. No, these are obstacles that you present so that you can't have success. And we got to stop that. Lean on me less to distract you, and let's jump headlong into what we want to discuss, which is going to be a post referencing a post that I made some time ago. And it was on Instagram, and I'm talking about 5 ways that you can lose body fat sustainably. I'll pop it right up here so that you can see it really cleanly. Now, it's not fads, it's not extreme. So let me tell you, even in the caption, what I wrote, it'd be like that. It's this simple, but it's too simple. It's going to take too long. It's not drastic enough. Coach, it's just, listen, folks, it works. So do it. Just do it. Point number 1, walk more daily. Why does it work? Well, it's simple because you're moving your body through space. That's literally why we have this, right? That's why we're not brains and we're not just floating around. We have a body so that we can use it. Walking burns fat. It lowers your stress. It typically lowers even cortisol, meaning like the stress hormone that can sometimes be released by the way that you live, eat, sleep, or lack thereof sleep, and even the way that you work. But this is a way to release that. It can create more dopamine, so the good sensation, serotonin. There are so many different things that it can produce to elevate your feelings and increase the way that you sleep and all the other things, which you're going to hear about in just a moment. It does not necessarily spike hunger. We suggest that you start with 7 to 10,000 steps a day. You can break it up. It adds up. Now, here's where I want to take your focus. It doesn't spike hunger. A lot of you think about working out, and perhaps you're new to working out, or perhaps you don't work out, right? Think about this for a moment. When you're new to working out or you work out, you start working out and you're getting after it. Maybe you're doing something like CrossFit. Maybe it's not CrossFit, but you heard a lot about CrossFit. Maybe you follow someone like me or you follow one of our true programs, right? I have all access tiers that offer endurance training, strength training, aesthetic training, competitor training on limited time, true 30-minute workouts with no equipment other than dumbbells, 60-minute workouts for people that want to enhance their lifestyle, look good, feel good, and be a forever athlete in their life. We got it all. TTRUfitness.com. When you do those types of workouts, guess what it does to your hunger? It elevates your hunger. Well, Adrian, the whole purpose is for me to lose body fat. Why would I want to increase my hunger? Exactly. Why would you? Well, I can tell you why. It's because, again, like walking develops for you and allows you to do is it creates increased positivity with your mood. It creates great ranges of motion. So when I program predominantly functional movements. We're going to do things like squat, thruster, lunge, run, jump, step up, hang, pull up, right? We're going to do all these different things because, again, we're athletes. Whether you perceive yourself as an athlete or not, you are a forever athlete. That's why you have your body. But those types of training do enhance hunger. Now, unless you're specifically very disciplined and you're ready to weigh and measure some food, at least maybe based on palm size, you don't have to have a food scale. You don't have to have cups at your leisure all the time. You're at your side. No, but use a palm that gives you some pretty accurate assessment in regards to eating generally for really great results of losing fat, building muscle. I can help you with that. We can help you with that at True Fitness and True Nutrition. It's what we do. But these workouts, unless you're ready to be that type of discipline, which to me, it's not everyone, right? I've worked with a lot of people throughout my years. I typically meet people where they're at. Some people aren't ready for that. They're not even ready for the hand thing and paying attention to what they're putting in their mouth as much. But if you walk more, folks, you can lose more fat and it won't spike your hunger. It won't penalize you. You won't go back and want seconds, even when you're trying to resist that. You won't want an extra meal in the day when you're trying to resist that. A lot of times people, when they start CrossFit, they can justify those hungers because, well, I worked out hard. Well, because I did X, Y, and Z. What they don't understand is that they didn't really exponentially burn calories, but the effort that they expended was exponential. And yes, it does add up over time, but day in and day out, you can't just reward yourself with extra calories in order to justify the means of extra calories, not when you're trying to lose body fat. So something to be mindful of. Walking more does this. It burns fat, lowers stress, doesn't spike hunger. Start small. It adds up. We're moving on. Point number 2, eat 20 to 30 grams of protein at every meal. Why does this work? Protein can help keep you full. This is called satiation. Satiation. It helps you stay satiated. Sounds weird when I say that word a lot. I'm sorry. But it can also preserve muscle. Right? When we think about the foundation of muscle building and muscle preservation, protein is at the forefront. It can also, quote unquote, rev up your metabolism. Now, is this a scientific term or a way to describe what it's actually doing? No, but we know that it does take energy to process and metabolize protein, specifically in the form of skeletal meat. So when you eat it, it's almost like a 2-for-1. You can preserve and build musculature. It can allow you to stay satiated. Actually, it's a 3-for-1. And it costs more energy to process this than it does carbohydrates and fat. So you don't need to be perfect, but you need to plan. What does this look like? Well, maybe while you're walking, you could be listening to a podcast about how to prepare more protein, how to prepare protein deliciously. You could also keep your eyes peeled for True Autonomy, which is going to be a vault or a VIP access of unlimited resources when it comes to recipes every single month of high protein, low carbohydrate, low fat, sometimes low carb specific diets like keto and caveman style nutrition. I mean, we're not big supporters and proponents for those choices, but we're going to have resources available to you. We're going to have write-ups, deep dives into training. We're going to have free workout templates within this true autonomy vault that will exist. And the whole idea is to help you become more autonomous in this journey. Our whole goal, my whole purpose as a coach, is not to work with athletes for the rest of their life because they need me. I'm literally not doing my job if that's the case. My wife is a nutrition coach. She's literally not doing her job if you need her all the time, right? Everyone has a different journey and everyone takes education on different ways and different levels. Everyone starts at different points with us. But the idea is to create this. Our goal is to make this a low price point, something that you pay monthly or you could pay a year up front. And you're going to be a part of this community where you have access to endless resources that can help you be autonomous in your fitness and health journey and even in your performance journey. It's going to be a great resource for coaches. It's going to be a great resources for everyday athletes, newbies, moderate athletes, and high level athletes, and even coaches. And this is part of the reason you need an understanding of how to prep food. You need an understanding of how to make it delicious. You need an understanding of, well, what kind of variety can I really have, coach? This will help this obstacle of eating 20 to 30 grams of protein at every meal because you can always have it ready. And there's so many questions that people ask us about, well, how do I do this? What does it look like? Let me show you. And we can help you do that. Point number 3, stop drinking your calories. Why does it work? Well, soda, juices, lattes, alcohol, hidden calories, all are present. And guess what it doesn't do? It doesn't make you full. It often makes you more hungry. You guys ever watch those shows where they literally try to eat as much as they can? It could be for time, like hot dog eating contest, or it could be like, I don't know what it used to be called, but I used to watch these all the time. And oddly enough, I watched them all the time when I was literally trying to get my life in order with health and fitness. Like I found CrossFit, I was weighing to measure my food. I was doing the zone diet, 40% carb, 30% fat, 30% protein. I was doing like between 22 and 25 blocks a day. I was learning how to prepare vegetables. I was learning how to store vegetables. I was learning how to grocery shop and on a budget. The budget was real tight at the time. But I would watch these cooking shows for some reason. And my man's going and he's just trying to do all the food challenges, right? But when he gets full, what does he do? He relies on sweet drinks, sodas, juices, different forms that allow him to continue to eat the savory foods. That sugary sweet response that we have in our palate, right? The gleeking is what I call it, right? When you release saliva that is going to help initiate the digestive process for a lot of the foods that we consume, specifically high starchy foods and everything. It prepares you to eat more. By happenstance, when you drink soda, juice, when you make your latte sweet, even if it's 0-calorie sweetener, a lot of times that elicits a hunger spike. We talked about the importance of understanding, especially if this is a new journey for you, walking as your fitness source because it's so low intensity that it doesn't spike hunger. Well, look at what you could be doing if you stop drinking sweet drinks that have calories in them. Now, I'm not vilifying sweet drinks. I like a good ZV every now and again. I enjoy the experience of BCAAs, even though I recognize that it's not essential for my recovery. It can be a way for me to replace perhaps a snack or a meal where I feel more satiated when I sip on these things. And it can also be a 0-calorie treat. But the ones that have calories, folks, it's killing your weight loss options. This is going to sound hard, but swap these for water. Have club soda. Have black coffee. Learn to be a coffee snob like me. Fall in love with it. Get you a nice little espresso maker or something. And if you don't get it and you don't like it, that's okay. Maybe you just want to flex and learn to like it. Maybe that's a good discipline that would be great for you. Maybe you consume less caffeine and you start to feel more satiated. Black coffee does so many wonderful things, both from a metabolic perspective, from a clarity perspective in your mind. It is much less volatile of a caffeine spike than this artificial caffeine that is available for people in energy drinks. And it satiates hunger. It can elongate the time period between your major meals. It can prevent snacking between meals. Now, do you want to be strung out on coffee and you drink coffee instead of eating food? Absolutely not. I would never condone that, but it can be a wonderful tool in your tool belt. Same with club soda. So this can be an easy win, but this is a hard one for people. But is it doable? Absolutely. What if you segregate a day where you're going to allow yourself to have 2 sodas, or you have 1 soda 3 days a week? But you monitor this consumption. You allow yourself to enjoy a good sweet soda drink when you go to the movies or you go out to dinner with your family. but you know that that's the one-off occasion each week that you allow yourself, and you don't go have endless amounts of soda because you're at a restaurant where you can get as much as you want. You have one cup of soda and then you force yourself to drink water the rest of the time, right? Again, do you need to be disciplined to be successful in losing weight? Absolutely. But can you do it forever? Yes. Yes. You have to apply these 5 tactics that I'm giving you right now. And not one of them is irresistible to any person that actually wants to change and is ready to stop pretending that they want to change. Point number 4, sleep 7 to 8 hours a night. Why does it work? Poor sleep equals more cravings. So get this. We talked about cravings. We talked about being satiated, feeling full. The idea that you're not necessarily starving for that next meal, even though you might feel like it. Being tuned in and cued in with your hunger feelings. So you're going to have more cravings when you sleep less or have poor sleep. You're going to have less energy, folks. That's a bad mood. You're going to have a slower metabolism. You're literally just going to churn and burn energy at a lower state, right? Why? Well, because your body's in a stressed type state. It's literally lacking the energy, the sort, the fuel, if you will, to continue to have homeostasis, right? Which is the idea that we want our bodies to stay as we are, but function optimally and at a high level. Make your room cold, make your room dark, and make it boring. Prioritize this just like you do a workout, just like you do walking, just like you do protein in your meals. Now, let me ask you something. Why is this the hardest thing for you to do? Did you feel like I was peering into your soul as I asked you that? Why is this the hardest thing for you to do? Get yourself 8 hours of sleep. Do you like sleep? Most people nod their head yes. Do you enjoy what you feel like when you wake up rested? Most people enjoy yes, 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 of course, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. So why is it hard? I'm gonna tell you why it's hard. Because we have so many attractive things that we want to do instead of sleep. You want to browse your phone. You want to watch a show. You feel as though this is earned. You feel as though you've worked really hard for this all day. You didn't get to be on your phone because you were grinding at work. You didn't get to be watching your you didn't you want to binge watch Ted Lasso or The Office or Game of Thrones or what else do I enjoy? I mean, you want to watch the Kardashians. You want to do whatever you want to do, okay? And you feel entitled to do so. I want to remind you in the most subtle yet direct way that you're killing yourself. You're killing yourself by allowing a box on the wall to suck the energy out of your life, the recoverability out of your life, and to put fat on your body. And I kid you not. Adrian, you are ridiculous and you are exaggerating. I will say, yes, I am being ridiculous and I am exaggerating. And also, I am 100% accurate in everything that I just shared. It is very true. Imagine if someone filmed you watching TV, but the TV was off. You're staring at a box on a wall, or you're staring at something in your hand, and you have all this beautiful earth around you. Some of you have a spouse sitting beside you that you could actually look at and look into their eyes and talk to, ask a question, have deep thought about it. Maybe actually read a book and stimulate your mind in a different way. Now, if you start staying up too late because you're reading a book and you love it so much, I'll be like, yeah, good for you. I'm really proud of you. But also get some more sleep, right? Live right here a little bit more. Be in reality. Maybe you can dream about what you're going to read about, right? Now, I'm going on a rant, and this is a bit of a tangent about sleep, but this is the number one thing that my clients struggle with. Even my top performers, my high level athletes struggle sometimes to get to sleep. Now, do you need to sleep much more than this? No. And can you function with less sleepiness? Absolutely. But we're talking about something that will bring you joy, peace, happiness, and discipline. Here's the hard part. You've got to plan this. You've got to plan this like you plan your workouts. Ah, man, you know what? It's 9:30. I should turn off TV. Turn it off. Turn off the TV. Stop browsing your phone. Start stretching your body. Go get ready for bed. Go to bed with your spouse. Talk with them for 30 minutes till you fall asleep, or do something else. If you're single, go to bed. Get your sleep. Build fitness. Stay young. Get the bags from underneath your eyes. Like all the good stuff. Allow yourself to wake up earlier in the morning. Like there's so much fruit that can be on the positive side of more sleep and earlier bedtimes, but we're so resistant to it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm I am I am talking to myself. Um, I need help with getting to bed on time. I gotta say, hey, sometimes I gotta remind my wife. Sometimes my wife needs to remind me, hey, let's go. We're going. It's time, right? But we know what it will help us with. It will help us live longer throughout our lives and live fuller through our years that we have. Sleep more, folks. Last point, point number 5, because I wanted to keep it simple and I wanted to keep it applicable to your life, is be consistent 80% of the time. Wait, coach, what are you saying? I'm saying you don't need to be perfect. You just need to start and you need momentum. Stack simple wins. Repeat them again. Give it time. Your fat loss is earned, it's not given. Remember, you built fat, you built this frame, you built your mindset, you built these habits through years. It is going to take you years to change it. And I'm not talking about getting fit fast. I'm not talking about losing weight. I'm not talking about Rise 45. I'm talking about 365. Multiply that times 2. Sorry, I'm not doing the math. Multiply that times 3. Sorry, I'm not doing the math. I want to talk to you 2.5 years from now and say how this podcast influenced you to encourage other people to have this long-term vision, to stop getting off the 30-day challenges and stop doing the diets and stop doing the stuff. Look, I support that because we do Rise 45 to give people a kickstart, to let them understand the power of this right here. You don't have to be 100%. You be 80% for a long time. In fact, there's so many people that we work with and see every single day in our business that want to start with us and they want to go all in. They're like, okay, listen, coach, I'm so desperate for change. This is what they think about the repentance. They're like, yes, right. That's me, coach. I heard you say those things and I want that. And then it's our job to kind of slow them down a little bit, but do you? And what's that look like? And then talk to me about what that looks like in 3 months. Talk to me about what that looks like for, right? Like we get so tired of prescribing things for people where they think it's just short lived. They think it's a month. They think it's 2 months. This is everybody that's on keto and everybody that's on caveman, and everybody that's on whatever. You enter any diet that they don't feel like they could do every day for the rest of their life. Is it worth starting? Sometimes it could be fun. If you got a nutrition coach, I think you can lean on them to help you through these things. You can say, hey, coach, I want to go really low carb, high protein for a month. I'd like to drop some pounds. And then I'd like for you to really help me go through this process for the next 3 months where I work on building consistency and progress in a balanced lifestyle. But I really need this to get going. We've had conversations with plenty of people. We help people do that. This is not a bad approach when you're not left to your own demise. Because here's what happens. People that go keto, people that go low carb, people that underfuel their body for a long time, and then they start doing certain things, they get great results and they feel that momentum, and then they realize it's not sustainable. And then instead of intermittent fasting, they go out to breakfast with their family. And because they went out to breakfast with their family, they realize, oh my gosh, I'm just going to have breakfast with my kids. Oh man, I had a great workout. I'm going to have, but then they gain 10 pounds because they didn't know how to structure and balance eating every single meal throughout the day. And they didn't realize even what they were doing with their calories when they were intermittent fasting, because they were simply just omitting a time window to stop eating. But that's not really what they want to be and who they want to be the rest of their life. My closing point is that, folks, you don't got to be perfect. 80% of the time works for a very long time. I want you to be encouraged by the fact that I just gave you 5 easy ways to lose body fat. And you're like, and I heard all of them. Well, I hope hearing them from my voice or watching me on the screen or maybe seeing my post is something that's enough for you to reiterate these to other people. I hope that it's enough for you to realize that you don't have to starve yourself. You don't have to be unhappy or unpleasant. And it can be about putting pen to paper, reaching out to someone like myself or us at True Nutrition or at True Fitness. Send us a direct message and just say, hey, I would like some support. Go to truefitness.com and browse the ways in which we provide information through our blog to people. Browse the YouTube that I have here on YouTube. Browse our podcast episodes. And understand that we're just trying to continually bring more and more value. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, keep your eyes out for True Autonomy, which is going to be a unique, accessible vault that you'll have access to that will give you recipes, brand new recipes, up to 15 every single month. We're going to make sure that stay provided there. We're going to video some of them. We're going to have workout tutorials. We're going to have workout templates that are there, depending on how you like to train, what you have access to, and all the things. But this is something that we're going to add as a new service in the near future here to help people live more of an autonomous life. It's going to be a place for people to live in perpetuity, that after they scale out of a relationship of one-to-one with us, so they can keep it going themselves. This is going to be a place for people that want to get a taste of how we teach, how we prioritize our training, or what it might look like before they dive into getting all access, or before they dive into a one-to-one relationship with one of our coaches in any way, shape, or form, whether it's diet, nutrition, or performance. So keep your eyes out for stuff like that. Keep your eyes out for our next Rise 45. We don't really have one planned. We're clearly in the middle of one right now. We just got the ball rolling. We got a great group of people committed to making some consistent progress and changes in their life. But folks, as usual, this wasn't a direct question. Today was more of an educational and inspirational episode about how to lose body fat the easy way. And again, the fruit is very low hanging. You can do anything. Start today, start right now, start with this list. And if you got to introduce one thing at a time, do it. But remember, change happens when you have that repentant spirit and mindset. You got to really stop trying to live this one way and just kind of add things to it. You got to be willing to like turn and about face and be like, no, this is now. These are now the 5 things that I do all the time. These are now the 5 things that I'm going to look to do. I'm going to sleep more. I'm going to eat protein with every meal. I am going to walk more, and I'm going to make sure that I stop adding calories through my beverage choice. And then you know what? I'm going to do the best that I can to do this 80% of the time. The other percent of the time, I'm going to enjoy my family, enjoy the birthday parties, enjoy the vacations, and do the thing. And I'm going to do this in perpetuity to seek the results that I desire and also the results that I deserve. Folks, comment below if you enjoyed this, like it. Make sure that you share this episode if it has brought any prosperous mindset, motivation to you. If you think this is something that one of your family members might enjoy or want to hear, please share it with them and subscribe to the channel, whether you're listening to this or watching it live. It helps us reach more people. As usual, this is Coach Conway, and keep rising.